The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, magnificent Monday, as we try to call it. Hope everyone had a great weekend, all that good stuff. So I got the regular crew with me this morning. I got Miss Carol and Pedro. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
So, well, unfortunately, we don't have any interest groups for the day. I mean, we can call that unfortunate, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for, somebody that may have an idea for an interest group. There's a time slot right here. You can jump in on this third Monday of the month. Well, actually, this second Monday of the month. The way the calendar's working out on us, right? But anyway, even though we're going into the third week tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's just an opportunity. If you got an idea for an interest group, you'd be surprised what people might be interested in. So if you got an idea for one and thinking about becoming an interest group leader, reach out, info@blindunited.org, and let's check it out and see if we can make that happen for you. So, but other than that, we're going to move on because all we got is our articles a day, a little notice. We got till next Saturday for those that are wishing to attend our 90s throwback party. Again, the 19th of the month is the cutoff for securing your spot. Okay. Got 2 weeks left for your opportunity to get these T-shirts at the introductory price of $15 plus shipping and handling. So anyway, if you're interested in doing one of them things, I mean, again, we could really use the support. I really appreciate everybody that has purchased a T-shirt thus far. But if you'd like to show your support, that's a great way to show your support and, represent for Blind United and what we do here at Blind United. So anyway, let's jump into this first article. It's titled "The Silent Protest." And what that means is basically a lot of people don't realize Canada, the border, all of the border states that border with Canada, they got a big retail thing going on where, I mean, they've actually built, retail centers, for folks that come over from Canada. There was a point where they were actually able to come over here and shop a lot cheaper. I mean, it wasn't just the retail, it was gas, it was, the hospitality industry, all of that stuff in those border states. They were making money off of this, but check out what Trump's tariffs are doing to that.
Hello, Blind United crew. Let's pour a cup and take a look at the story unfolding in America's northern border towns, where a noticeable silence in the shopping aisles is a direct result of specific U.S. economic policies. A form of silent protest is being felt keenly in U.S. border cities, but the protesters are Canadians staying home, and their actions are a direct response to a difficult economic climate shaped by American policy. The primary driver is the U.S. Federal Reserve's aggressive monetary policy, which has involved a series of interest rate hikes to control domestic inflation. This policy has significantly strengthened the U.S. dollar, making it much more expensive for Canadians to exchange their currency. Compounding this are new America First trade policies, which have introduced tariffs and created a more complex, higher cost environment for cross-border commerce. For Canadian shoppers, the combination of a poor exchange rate and trade friction has erased any potential savings, making shopping trips to the U.S. economically unfeasible. The impact of this policy-driven downturn on U.S. retail markets has been severe. Shopping malls and big box stores in border towns like Buffalo, New York, and Detroit, Michigan, which built their business models on attracting Canadians, are reporting a dramatic drop in revenue. Retailers like Target and Walmart, along with grocery outlets, are losing millions as their most reliable non-resident customer base disappears. This isn't just about luxury goods. The loss extends to essentials like gasoline and dairy, which Canadians have often purchased in the U.S. The empty parking spots where cars with Ontario or Quebec license plates used to be are a testament to the real-world consequences of these high-level economic strategies. The economic pain extends beyond the cash registers of the big box stores. The entire service economy of these border towns is suffering. Fewer Canadian shoppers mean fewer cars filling up at U.S. gas stations, fewer families eating at local restaurants, and a reduced need for retail and service staff, leading to job cuts and hiring freezes in these communities. The most significant long-term consequence, however, is the loss of local and state tax revenue. Every dollar a Canadian shopper doesn't spend in the U.S. is a dollar that isn't generating sales tax. This leads to major shortfalls in municipal and state budgets, directly impacting funding for local schools, road maintenance, and essential public services in these American towns. It's fascinating how specific domestic policies can have such a direct and powerful impact on local economies that depend on cross-border shoppers. What are your thoughts on the unintended consequences of these national economic strategies? Share your perspective in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, Monica popped into the comments and she said, good Monday morning. Hope everybody has a great week. So good morning, Monica. And then we got Tisha says, good morning. Hey. So good morning, ladies.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Let's jump into this. I mean, I wonder, is he just this, stupid, or does he know the effect that this is having on America? I mean, not only his so-called billionaire buddies, and their retail stuff, right? But the taxes. I mean, again, we talking about sales tax. Sales tax is what helps these individual cities, that's their tax revenue. That's what pays for, redoing their roads, take care of their schools, so many different things. I mean, their police force and all this other kind of stuff. So, I mean, he's just killing everything, with these crazy practices and stuff that he's doing, these tariffs. And I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, it's almost like, to me, it's almost, he wants to be a gangster. He wants to be a dictator, all of this stuff. And this almost sounds like, what do they call that? Extortion kind of thing. Either you bow down to my will or I'm going to impose these tariffs on you. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's racketeering, and that's what it seemed like, So, again, that's my take on it. I mean, he's just destroying he's doing so many different things. It's just destroying the American economy, which was in good shape before he took office. I just want to point that out. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but it was in good shape. All of these prices are going to fall on day one. This is going to happen on day one. That's going to happen on day one. The only thing that happened on day one is him jumping right in there to start gathering up, what he and his people consider undesirables in the country. So that's the only thing he's really done other than destroy the economy. So anyway, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
I mean, you make a lot of sense. We are suffering. And that's the sad thing. He just does not care. it's more than stupidity. He just don't care. And here it is, things aren't getting easier for us. Things are getting tougher. All the programs that we need to, help our cities, they're just disappearing. And for what? That's the whole thing. Why? As an American, again, it's like it's a slap in our faces. I'm ashamed, you know, and other countries are watching this, and it's nothing that we can do. Nothing other than, write letters, I guess, to our congressmen, governor, people of authority, and hopefully, they'll listen and represent us. But at what cost? How much more do we have to suffer before he leaves office? So, I mean, that's my take on it. And it's just a sad thing.
Well, I mean, I understand your discouragement, Cal, living in a red state such as Texas. But
Yes.
again,
Yes.
did again, like you said, you think there's nothing you can do other than write them letters. But again, writing them letters at the very, very minimum is letting your congressional rep, your senator, whatever, for your districts, whatever, letting them know, hey, look, if you don't change your ways, you ain't gonna get, you're gonna get voted out of office. That's basically what it's telling them. We gotta let them know that what the people want, and so
Right.
on and so forth. So anyway, just keep it up, make them phone calls, send them letters, emails, whatever. Just let whoever they are, even if they are to the right, still let them know. You're putting your job on the line here for this guy. So anyway, what you got, Pedro?
Um, yeah, this administration, and I'm not just blaming the Orange Tornado. I'm gonna blame the administration because they're as well responsible for what is happening. Um, with these, you know, and I hate to say, and I don't want to say that he does not know. I believe he knows, but this just correlates the idea that some people on the right have. We need a businessman in government. And I had the opinion, and I always will keep the opinion that we don't need that because what a businessman CEO intends to do is the bottom line and cut corners and stuff like that. So a businessman cannot integrate correctly into a government position. We see the toll that a businessman has been taking on our country. It's been 6 months, not even not even a quarter of it is administration. It's time. And look at all the scandal. Look at all the wild activity that his post create, like on the stock market, uh the uncertainty, uh um and other wild posts that he does, and the administration itself as well. And right now there's a bigger scandal happening, and we might bring that later. But to those states that are in those borders, yes, this is how they make their bread and butter. This is how they keep the lights on. And for those cities, that's how they get revenue to fix those roads, because we already know he has slashed those programs. Man, even probably aid to some of these states. There are border states, and some of that are sanctuary city or sanctuary states as well. He has been attacking California, and we've seen how he attacks our hometown, our California. He attacks aggressively. He has something against California, you can tell. But he does not care unless it benefits him. And if it's gonna hurt someone else, he's gonna do it. It's not affecting him, and it's messed up to say that these states are getting affected by his policies of his administration, and is the incompetency that they don't have, because you have a newscaster, you have an ex WWE CEO running departments. Look at Pat Bounces. They about to eat her up right now. They're all blaming her for something that's been happening in the news. If you haven't stayed up to date, but it is sad to say that they just stumble on the U.S. citizens that trying to make their everyday living, and those states that are trying to support their citizens by these programs that they tax these revenues, and kids are gonna suffer. Uh, Children and women are going to suffer from these policies, and the people that have their own businesses as well, you know.
Oh, well, it's not just that, like you say, infrastructure and all that. I mean, you
Hmm.
think about, Detroit, any of them, especially the Midwestern, Northeastern states, to get the snow and stuff the way they do. Imagine the damage that toll that it takes on the highways. You know what I'm saying? Being frozen, then scraped, and then the weather gets warm and it gets hot. Then all this other kind of stuff. That's what causes potholes and all that stuff. I mean, people complain about, oh, I tore up my car in a pothole. Okay, well, the federal government took away any infrastructure money, so we can't afford to fix the road. The administration, created this tariff war, this trade war. Now we don't have any of that money coming in from our northern neighbors, which was a steady flow of money. I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, as far as the money that we're losing because of Canada. I mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
there's no more Canada tourism anymore. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes. And if he was for America first, right? That means America, not just USA, right? If he was for
Mm-hmm.
that, he would have tried to do what the European Union did, have a whole transportation system, a passport that could get you across all three like, and have trade within us at a better rate for us within the North American trade. You know what I mean? If he was America first, but it's
Right.
not. I know he's not, and it's
Well,
it's
what's
yo,
it's
yeah.
crazy. I seen something I think I mentioned it a week or so ago. I might not have done it on here, but just to pay attention to things that's going on, right? So even within this one, those people also had to pay a toll to come over here. Okay, so now we
Crazy.
also losing that money, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then he got a nerve to get mad because Canada wants to charge a toll on us to use the Alaskan highway to travel through Canada to get to Alaska. Okay, well, how you gonna get mad at them when you're doing the same thing to them? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, so you just some big time, gangster, whatever. You can slap me, but I can't slap you back. Come on now. I mean, that don't make sense. I mean, again, do on the others as they do on to you. You doing this to them, so I'm not mad at them for what they doing. I mean, I feel sorry for the fact that it's not him that's paying these tolls and all this other kind of stuff. It's not him that's suffering these hardships. You know what I'm saying? It's our American people, our American economy, our American cities. They're
Right.
all suffering because of what he's doing. And again, I hate to go here, but it's like, what's that old saying? Well, it don't bother me, so, ain't no sweat off my blank. You know, that's just his attitude. That's just the way it is. I mean, as far as his other folks, I mean, we're going to get into that other topic page I was talking about, not today, but we're going to touch on it because this last move he done made, talking about paying Bondi. Oh
Mm.
yeah, buddy. They really got a lot of people that were behind him, and now they turning their back on him because of this latest move. So, but I mean, it's just crazy. It's just
Yes,
really
yes.
crazy.
And talking about alligators, about to see how they're about to eat each other up with this whole thing. That's probably another time we're gonna have to talk about that because it's about that time, right, Ed?
That's it. So,
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Throw on the blue, yeah, we rep that crew. Blind, not as strong, we staying true. From small to 4X, come get your fit. Royal with the logo, we all legit. 15 till July 26. After the party, we raising a fix. Get it now while the deal still live. Loyal to the cause, we thrive and survive. Rock the logo, show who you are. Standing for the vision, we've come so far. It's more than merch, it's a movement we live. Loyal to the cause with all we give. From baked goods to tech, we build in the way. But that royal blue shirt, it's here to stay. Don't sleep, grab yours before the shift. After the 90s party, it's a price uplift. 15 till July 26. After the party, we raising the fix. Get it now while the deal still live. Loyal to the cause, we thrive and survive.
All right. I mean, again, I do appreciate everybody that has already purchased their T-shirt, but again, if you really like what we do at here, Blind United, all the training and everything we offer for free, I mean, this is a great way to support. I mean, not only are you representing Blind United wherever you might live here in the country, but at the same time, you're dropping a couple bucks on us to help us cover, the platforms and stuff that we use to be able to facilitate all of this free training and free information and, networking and all that good stuff that we do here at Blind United. So scholarships and all of that kind of good stuff. So
Y'all got it going on.
I appreciate it, if everybody listening would reach out and, purchase a T-shirt. I would really, really appreciate it. So anyway, we're going to jump into this next article. I don't know. It's almost like this is the beginning of knowing everything, paying attention to everything that's going on. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my thoughts right. But knowing everything that's going on within this realm of AI right now, all the political stuff that's going on. I mean, Ted Cruz sliding stuff into this big, beautiful bill about, having restrictions on anybody imposing any guidelines or restrictions on AI for 10 years. For 10 years. Wow. But again, that's not a good thing. I've said from day one, we need to pay attention to what this AI is doing. We don't want to end up in a Skynet situation. We don't, call it science fiction if you want to, but this basically is what possible with what they're doing. Not imposing any guidelines or regulations on them. We could have Skynet. I mean, who knows? We could wake up and realize, oh, damn, we're living in the Matrix, so on and so forth because it is AI. It sounds far-fetched, but think about it. So anyway, check out this article and let me know what you think on the other side in the comments.
Hello, Blind United crew. Let's pour a cup and explore the powerful intersection of technology, wealth, and politics, focusing on one of Silicon Valley's most influential and controversial figures, Peter Thiel. A co-founder of PayPal and one of the earliest investors in Facebook, stands out in Silicon Valley not only for his immense success, but for his deep involvement in national politics, most notably as one of Donald Trump's earliest and most powerful supporters in the tech industry. The relationship between the two has drawn intense scrutiny, with observers trying to understand the philosophical alignment between a tech billionaire and a populist political movement. To understand this, one must look at Thiel's own stated views on governance and technology. Thiel has long been a critic of modern democratic systems from a libertarian perspective. In a famous and often cited 2009 essay, he wrote, "I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible." His argument was that widespread public demand for government programs and social safety nets limited the kind of absolute economic and personal freedom he believes is ideal. This viewpoint has driven his interest in creating alternative societies, such as his support for seasteading, the concept of building politically independent floating cities on the ocean to experiment with new forms of governance, free from the constraints of existing nations. This philosophy is also reflected in his business ventures. Thiel co-founded Palantir Technologies, a software company that has become a cornerstone of the U.S. intelligence and military apparatus. Palantir does not build hardware. It builds powerful data analysis platforms that allow government agencies to sift through massive, complex datasets to identify patterns, connections, and potential threats. While praised by military leaders for its effectiveness, critics raise concerns about the privacy implications of such powerful surveillance technology being developed by a private company and wielded by the state. Critics have coined the term algorithmic autocracy to describe their fear of what this fusion of private tech and state power could lead to. Their concern is a future where critical decisions about people's lives are increasingly influenced not by public debate or democratic vote, but by automated systems and AI built by private firms with their own ideologies and deployed by the government. The debate centers on a fundamental question. In a technologically advanced society, what is the proper relationship between the innovators who build the tools and the governments that use them to exert power? The rise of AI and massive data analysis tools presents complex questions about governance and freedom. How do you think society should balance the potential benefits of these technologies with the risks they pose to democratic processes? Share your perspective. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Does that sound science fiction enough to you? I mean, come on, man. This dude talking about creating floating cities to where he can test out different type ways to govern people. I mean, while you got these floating cities out there, well, okay, what are you? An independent country? Are you a floating country? Who's protecting your people out there while you're out there? Is it the American military? Is it Chinese military? Well, I mean, again, you can't just be out there floating around. You ain't gonna be nothing but prey to the pirates and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the way I see it anyway. But again, something that wasn't mentioned in this, and I've caught it in the news, and I'm pretty sure he's directly involved with this. Right here in California, in Merced, which is basically placed right between geographically, so people can understand, between San Francisco and Sacramento, there's a lot of farmland. Merced is a farm town. These folks have went up in there and bought thousands of acres of farmland, and their plan is to build that floating city on land right there in Merced. You know what I'm saying? And come on, man. I mean, again, like you said in the article, if this kind of power, with an AI generated, created by somebody and their beliefs, I mean, come on, man. I mean, who would want Brock to be, over what we do and how we do things? I mean, they've already shown Brock has a far right leaning perspective on things. So again, these AIs are going to have the perspective of the creator. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when you got somebody like, the orange hurricane or whatever, tornado, as Pedro calls him, if you got somebody like him in charge, well, he don't really care. Okay, well, you got a way to control these people? Well, go ahead. Here's a contract. Let me sign this right quick. Make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't care as long as he gets to maintain the power. So again, why they coming after us here in California? Why? Because California is one of the leading states that's jumping ahead of the game and imposing guidelines and regulations on the AI here in the state. That's one beautiful thing about our Constitution is the fact that, we do have state rights. And although, we're part of, the United States, we still have individual state rights. So, again, a lot of other states are doing it, mostly blue. But, again, I just hope it don't turn out the way it looks like it's going, So, anyway, go ahead, Carol.
For me, I mean, California has always been kind of one of the tech giants to where, other states kind of look at you all and see what's going on. But it's crazy, like a motion picture that's just out of control. And one thing I know as a Texan down here, floating city, I mean, you can't control water. I mean, we got rain still piling up right now with a catastrophe that didn't occur. And it's like you just can't control water. It's going to come when it comes. And I don't understand how they're even thinking about trying to put something out that's supposed to watch us. Like we are some type of foreign creature that has to be observed. This is stupid again. And how much money is all that gonna cost? I never did hear him say nothing about it, but I know it's gonna cost something to be able to try to put all of this together. Because if they want the best of everything, it's gonna be pricey. So I just don't see how how all of this is gonna take place, and I hope that it does not happen in your state. Because if it does, like I say, that's the example. You all are the tech giants, so whatever occurs there, we have to suffer too because it's coming our way. And I
Well,
guess that's all I got to say on it.
I hear you, but again, the floating cities again. The biggest thing to me is it's got to be big enough where they don't really have to worry about the tide and all that other kind of stuff way too much. It's more about you're an independent entity out there. You saying that you're separating yourself from America so you can have independent, governing and so on and so forth. Well, that makes you basically an independent country. And again, now we go back to who is protecting the people on that floating city, whatever. So again, I don't want no AI watching out for me. I already know that, throughout the country. I mean, we did a thing not too long ago where New Orleans got busted for using an AI generated facial recognition thing. That stuff is not legal, but this is exactly the type of stuff that this guy is producing for the government. So again, we don't need him, imposing his beliefs on what the rest of us, on the rest of the country. I should just put it that way. Am I
Right.
correct in that, Pedro?
Hmm? Yeah, well, yeah, the way they train AI has a result, and we've seen that by the Brock story, what's been happening. But number one, just to correct the foul in my opinion and what I've seen, Peter Thiel and the mega movement are not a populist movement. Because
No, they're
if
not.
there was a populist movement, they wouldn't be cutting these programs or going after Social Security, one of the most beloved things in America. Overwhelmingly, left and right people support it. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I thought all these mega and Trump, Joe Rogan, and all these people were less government, less government. Peter Thiel don't believe in that. Upon Palantir, before these Florida cities, you know how they're doing this? The way they want to track citizens is by a system that takes account over 300 different data points. They want to create this database of all types of information of yourself. This is overreaching. This is not freedom and less government. This is not a populist party. This is not a libertarian party or a classic libertarian party like they like to claim. This is all smokescreen. This is gaslighting their own voters and followers. That's what they're doing because they want full control. You could tell by the way that Peter Thiel is trying to align himself with the government, and Donald Trump is trying to say, yes, let's create the next database of all this. Do you believe, all right, you should use an ID to go to a adult website? That's what the right wants. They want you to scan your ID or put in your ID number, and guess what? For why? So they could create a database on you? That is not freedom. That is not less freedom. That's what that is. Less freedom. It's not freedom of let me go do what I want to go do. They're always trying to find a way to take away freedom. Don't let them gaslight you if you're a mega supporter or someone on the right. If it's okay to say that they're doing things that you don't align with. It's all right because we all agree with you. We all agree with you because they're overstepping, they're overreaching, and you can see what they're trying to do already.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, they're calling it a populist movement, whatever. But the only people it's popular with is the point
Billionaires.
whatever percent, 0.1%. Maybe let's go 0.5%. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Folks up in that higher end of income,
hmm
that doesn't use all of these public services and social safety nets and all that stuff. Of course, it's popular amongst them because it just puts more money in their pocket. But when you talk about a populist movement, what makes it a populist movement is when the majority of the population believes in what you're trying to do. That's what makes it a
well,
populist movement.
agrees what you're doing.
Agrees with what you're trying to do. You know
Hmm
what I'm saying? That's what
Mm-hmm.
makes it a populist movement. Not just
Correct.
because you made that state. You can't just take 10 people and say, oh, well, we all agree, so this is a populist movement. No, it's only popular among you 10 people.
Hmm
It's not popular
Right.
against the other
hmm
300 and some odd million people,
hmm
right? So come on, man, this is crazy. You know, I
hmm
mean, I don't want to live in a city to where, you know, I'm being tracked by, these different surveillance modes and all of
And
this stuff. And, you
let's
know, tracking what I'm buying, what
let
I'm
me.
doing, where I'm going at on the internet, where I'm walking every day, what stores I
hmm
routinely go to. I don't want you to have all that information. Come on, man. It's none of your damn business where I go buy my
hmm
condoms at. You know what I'm saying?
but
Yeah.
but look,
Invasion of privacy.
I could tell
Really.
you how far it could go. Watch. Look, right now we got some facial recognition software. Okay. One layer above that, we have AI that could kind of recognize and pinpoint certain points of stress in your facial recognition. That could pinpoint if you have something in your bag that you shouldn't have. Okay, let's scale that up tenfold, all right, or twofold. Let's just go twofold. Now, let's say the whole city has that. They could instead of just targeting if you're stealing something, let's say they want to target a certain ethnicity. Now they are able to track that ethnicity or that certain person within that ethnicity and track them all over the city, build up a file, build up even blackmail activity because we know how. If you're on the right, you believe the government is crooked. That's why you want less government. So, do you want the government to do all this and have a file on you, able to use it back on you, or make you maybe walk into a police station, say, "Hey, sir, sit down right here. We have some questions on you," and pull out a big folder on you on things you should believe should be private. That's why I always stress about privacy, cyber privacy as well. And this can be a catastrophe. It can be used by humans to manipulate and to put a hand over or over a certain group of people, most likely the poor class, and will what the upper class wants. Believe me, you think a billionaire's gonna have like, oh, have my face on a database. No, they're gonna have certain privileges within these cities that we won't have. Believe me, they will.
It's
you know,
creating
uh,
separation. You know.
you know,
Secondhand
uh,
citizenship. That's what I've been telling everybody. They want to create a second-hand citizen, a second citizen. That's what they want to create.
I was looking at I watch a lot of that First Amendment audit stuff, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys out there now that are actually wearing masks. Whether it be like a
Oh, okay.
COVID air breathing mask or whatever, and some
Mm-hmm.
of them are wearing full masks, right? And the people, well, why are you wearing a mask? If you're a journalist and whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, bottom line, we're making a statement. There is no expectation of privacy in public, so we are creating our own privacy by wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of them cameras, the minute you walk out your house, you got everybody's Ring doorbell recording you. Every time you cross an intersection, you got cameras on you. Every time you walk into a business,
Mm-hmm.
you got cameras on it. Anytime you walk into a public facility, you got cameras all over you.
Then you
You know
got
what I'm saying?
sometimes hidden cameras in bathrooms by these ugly individuals. But that aside, you're right. You're correct, Ed. And think about this one. when the law, it's the hypocrisy of the White House right now by saying anybody wearing a mask, we're gonna arrest you. All right, then arrest the ICE agents.
Right, right,
Yeah,
that part. So you
they
don't want
wearing them.
to wear a mask, but they can. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I believe most of these folks, especially the ICE agents, whatever. I think the main reason they wearing a mask is they're ashamed of who they work for, but they need a job so bad that they're gonna do it, but they're gonna hide their face so people don't have no recourse to get back at them. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. That's the end of this segment, and we're gonna move on to the next one. So hit me with a couple promos, Pedro, and we'll do the third article. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
Yo, coffee time crew, it's about to get live. Blind United's throwing it back, 1995. On July 26th, the place to be. From 1 to 6, come and party with we. Just 20 to 5, that's all you pay. To vibe with the drive the 90s way. Tootsie Roll Running Man and the Roger Rabbit. Biggie on the track and we gotta have it. Stone Cold the Rock, bringing all the hype. Snapbacks, cross colors, the 90s type. So call your crew and step through the door. Blind United's 90 jam, can't ignore. Saturday the 26th, it's going down. Where the love is loud and the beats are style.
I'm telling y'all better get your spot reserved. Again, we got, till Saturday. You can reserve your spot. I guess I should throw in there just to maybe try to urge people along a little bit. Seating is limited. You know what I'm saying? And once we run out of enough seats for the venue, we're going to cut it off and you're going to miss out because we got some great prizes for the raffle. We got all different kind of dance contests. We got
prices valued at $100, guys.
Ooh.
There's
So
a
come
lot
out and
of stuff.
support.
Come out and support. Again, we giving away a lot of good stuff, for a little, purchase a raffle ticket, and here's the crazy part. Y'all get the prize, even if we don't even make enough money on the raffle to cover our expenses. You still get the prize. You know what I'm saying? So if you get in, of course, we're hoping everybody's going to want to get in once they see exactly what we're offering, as raffle prizes. Maybe I should put it out there. You think I should put it out there, Pedro?
Tease them with one. Tease them with a one prize.
We have a top of the line JBL portable Bluetooth speaker. Okay.
Ooh.
This thing, I'm telling you, I've had one for years and I love it. I've gone to the beach and done events where it was the only speaker we had, but yet everybody at the event could hear what the music that was playing from this one little itty bitty speaker. I'm calling it itty bitty, but it's got a lot of great quality. It's got a lot of great sound, and not only that, I know you're gonna like this part, Kel. It bumps.
Ooh.
It really has a lot of good deep bass to it as well. So that's one of our things. So anyway, again, reach out to us. Send your money in, Blind United 2022 at gmail.com through Zelle. Or shoot me an email, info@blindunited.org. Maybe we can work out some other arrangements if you don't have Zelle. So just let me know what's cracking, and we'll make it happen. So, all right, well, we're going to jump into this last article. I'm going back to something we touched on, maybe a few months back or whatever it might have been. But, I mean, right now it's a lot more prevalent. Right to work laws. I mean, again, we've talked about it before, but I want to let you guys hear the latest updates and all this kind of stuff, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Hit me, Pedro.
Hello, Blind United crew. Let's pour a cup and get into a topic that shapes the power dynamics of the American workplace, right-to-work laws. Right-to-work laws have long been a contentious issue in American labor policy. Centering on a fundamental question, should workers be required to pay dues to a union as a condition of their employment? These state-level statutes answer with a firm no. In a right-to-work state, even if a workplace is unionized and all employees benefit from a union-negotiated contract, no individual can be forced to join the union or pay any fees. This is permitted under the Federal Taft-Hartley Act of 1947, which grants states the power to enact such legislation. The landscape is dynamic. While a majority of states have these laws, Michigan recently became the first state in decades to repeal its right-to-work law, bringing the current total down to 26 states. Supporters argue these laws protect individual freedom and make states more attractive to businesses, thereby boosting economic growth. Critics counter that they are designed to weaken unions by draining their financial resources, leading to lower wages, fewer benefits, and less robust workplace protections for all workers. Data from the Economic Policy Institute often supports this, suggesting workers in right-to-work states generally earn less and are less likely to have employer-sponsored health insurance or retirement plans. For most, the debate is framed around economics and individual liberty, but for the blind and visually impaired community, the implications run much deeper, touching on issues of safety, accessibility, and job security. While the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, provides a crucial baseline of protection, union contracts often go much further, and this is where the impact of right-to-work laws becomes critical for blind employees. Strong unions have the power to bargain for specific, legally binding accommodations that exceed the ADA's requirements. This can include provisions for the latest assistive technology, guaranteed time for specialized training, and clearly defined safe travel paths within a workplace. In a non-union or weakly unionized environment, securing these necessary tools can be a constant, individual battle. A union contract can turn these individual requests into a collective right. Furthermore, unions provide a powerful defense against discrimination and unjust termination. In a right-to-work state where unions are financially weaker, they have less power to enforce seniority rules or fight for an employee who is being unfairly targeted during layoffs, a situation that workers with disabilities can be more vulnerable to. The erosion of union strength can mean the erosion of a vital safety net, leaving blind and visually impaired workers with less leverage and a louder silence when they need an advocate in their corner. The debate, therefore, is not just about dues. It's about the collective power to ensure our workplaces are not only accessible, but truly equitable. This issue highlights the different layers of workplace protection. Have you ever worked in a union environment, and do you feel it provides additional security for workers with disabilities beyond standard laws? Share your experiences in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, for me on this one, I mean, I remember growing up, people would give their left arm to get a union job. I mean, they wanted union, number one, because 9 times out of 10, it also meant, uh, a good wage. Sometimes they were, a better wage, but, at least a good wage plus benefits being, your insurance and all of this other kind of stuff. You had all of these safety, guidelines in there that, kept you safe on the job, all this other kind of stuff, So again, although this article is focusing on unions and what they're doing, how they're, they're stating that these right to work states are focusing on unions. No, there's another element to there that this wasn't even described in here, wasn't even placed in here. In a right to work state, if they, let's say I had a business, whatever, let's just say I had a gardening business and, I was big time and had to have a crew, running around doing gardening or whatever, right? I could put it out there that, okay, that I'm hiring, but I'm only paying $5 an hour. If you accept that job, that's it. You ain't getting no more than $5 an hour. It's just that simple. You ain't getting no benefits, nothing. That's truly what a right to work state means. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just about the unions. I would hope that folks that are working in these union houses in these right to work states, even though they're not required to pay union dues, I would hope that they would, support the fact that they're getting paid a higher wage because of the union and want to support that union to continue that and make sure everything is good and join the union. Pay them dues. I mean, again, I I've had a couple union jobs. They were really, really great. And when I got into being self-employed and started doing my own trucking thing, a lot of places I went, they were union. And you know what? I went ahead and supported them. That way, I didn't have to go through. I mean, not that I would go through any headache or whatever, but because I was coming in there, sometimes because I was non-union, I had to go through certain things like hiring them to do certain things for me at some of these port docks. So why not go ahead and support them? I paid my dues, whatever, join the union. Now when I get there, this is union dock. Okay, well here's my union card. Now I can go down there and get me a forklift and load my own stuff. I don't need to hire somebody else to do that. So I got my benefits as well, even though I didn't get, because I didn't work for a specific company, I worked for myself. I didn't get all the medical and all that other kind of stuff that went along with it, but I benefited from it. So, I mean, I truly believe in the unions. I really do. I've often said sometimes I think they do get a little bit too much power, but at the same time, that's the only weapon we got against corporate America that only thinks about their bottom line. So again, I'm not for these right to work states, and I am about unions. Unions do help American peoples, protect them from workplace safety and all of this kind of stuff, and as well as make sure they get paid a living wage, a good wage that they can, raise their family and afford to buy a home, afford to buy a car, afford to put groceries on the table, put clothes on the kids' backs, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm for anything that's going to help the American people. So anyway, go ahead, Carol.
I mean, I'm with you all the way on that one too, Ed. I mean, I've never worked at a union job, but I do know, some people that have, and whether they were working in a factory or at the airline, or, they also, along with working a union, they had the option to picket if things wasn't going right. And it was some form of discussion to where they would try to get the best wage possible that was fair for them to just, go out throughout their livelihood of just feeling like they belong as an American, to just have the right to work. Being disabled now, that always causes a lot of, problems if you're not with a union or try, a lot of that is heavy machinery, things of that sort that we unfortunately just can't do, not being visual. But, anything that can support any worker and try to give them a living wage, give them access to the American dream, along with benefits on top of that, is always a plus. But it's hard to find something like that if you're not visual, unless you're just tenured in and you just know exactly what you're doing by touch. But I'm all for them trying to just have some form of programs that they're not constantly trying to cut, that will benefit us as Americans, to where we can feel like our livelihood and our succession of just trying to embrace the future can always benefit from something. And advocating for yourself, if you're in a job like that, can always help. Sometimes it can cause conflict because if somebody's not part of the union, everybody's going to try to convince them to get part of it. But I think that it's always beneficial if you do have some kind of back behind you that can help you, be your best worker.
Well,
What
I
you
mean,
think,
again,
Pedro? Oh, I'm sorry.
again, I just want to clarify. In today's world, not all union jobs are factory jobs. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Hmm.
think about this. You got the Federal Workers Union. That ain't no factory. Them people is doing paperwork. They're doing, data entry, whatever. You know
The
what I'm saying?
actors union,
Right,
yeah,
right.
Actors union. I mean,
even
again,
programmers, they're trying to
you
unionize
know,
Amazon
uh,
workers as well. So it's all across the spectrum.
right, right. And we know out here, we know several people that are actually, disabled and work for Amazon. And
Okay.
again, they're fighting. They're trying to make sure they get that union in there. I mean, just the fact that the union is going to take ADA to the next level, they're going to give you more assistance than ADA will. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's a
Hmm.
plus for us. So
Right,
anyway, go
right.
ahead,
It
Pedro.
is.
Yeah. Well, number one, and it's a side note. The right always knows how to message things. Right to work. It doesn't sound bad at all. But when you go read up on it and what they was trying to pass and the way they tie your hands if you not educated and don't know about what's going on, you think this is a good thing. But they could tell you I'll pay you $2 and then you're stuck, you know? But, unions, yes, they had a lot of massive power before, but I believe in the new landscape as we see what has happened in New York with the union busting tactics that Amazon used over there, trying to prevent a union to emerge to better put their workers in a better position to bargain. That's what the unions are for. I believe in this landscape now. We need unions. We need unions across different sectors because we see the social programs getting cut. We see all these programs go leaving. So, hey, if a union can get us more income, better wages, better better let's say side things like let's say technology for people that are disabled or even other perks, hey, I'm all for it because if you really think about it, the billionaires and the millionaires are stealing away from us our earnings because they are underpaying us.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's what it's all about. They're trying to make sure that, it's our, again, it gives us, unions give us the right to protest against the company that we're working for. Okay. And 9 times out of 10, again, they want to cut our wages and whatnot so that they can pad their bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Where, I mean, maybe I'm different. I don't know. I hope a lot of people think the way I do. You need to take care of the people that are earning your money for you. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Hmm.
go back to that reference I was talking about. If I, was here in California and owned a gardening company or whatever, dude, I mean, at least once a week or something, I'm buying you lunch. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, different things. I'm going to just do certain things to show you that I appreciate you and the work that you put in for me each and every day, right? Employee appreciation stuff. When you're dealing with companies that are trying to bust these units, they ain't trying to show you no appreciation for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
No love.
None whatsoever. You show up 1 minute late, they're gonna dock you an hour. Okay. So again, you was only 1 minute late, but now you lose, 10, 15, $25 just because you was 1 minute late. Whatever your hourly wage was, that's how much you're gonna lose. That's not right. It's definitely not right. I mean, should you be late? No, but sometimes you just can't help it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a really, really sad situation. Again, if you're in one of these right to work states, I suggest you to reach out to your state legislators and do as Michigan did in the article. Get that law reversed. You know what I'm saying? Reverse that action in your state. That way you have the right to unionize, and then you have the right to, protest against the companies you work for and get those proper living wages to where you don't have to, suffer in order to just live in the country you were born into. But anyway, we are at the end of our time for today. Hope everybody enjoyed our show here Monday, this Monday anyway. We'll be back again tomorrow, of course, as always. But man, please like, subscribe, share, follow, comment. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you can do, please do it. It really, really does help. I'm sorry that we're dealing in a world where we got to worry about algorithms, but that's where we at. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we don't get into an algorithm idiocracy. That's what it was said in the article. But we do have to deal with this algorithm right now. So please help us out. And hey, everybody enjoy the rest of your magazine on Monday, and we will see you again on Tuesday. So everybody have a great